We'll live.
We're live. Okay, everybody, stop mucking about and pay attention. Good evening.
Hello.
So, who have we got?
We have Scott, who is here first for a change.
Hi, Scott.
Fred Taylor.
Hi, Fred.
Leona Fay.
Hi, Leona.
Wayne the Wood Turner.
Hi, Wayne.
So, good evening, everybody.
Yes, glad to have you here.
Yeah.
So, Nicola, what do you want to talk about?
Mhm.
Had to get that in first.
I've got a new bowl.
It's more of a little dish.
Yeah, little dish. Yeah.
It's the demo that I did. Well, it wasn't a demo. It was more of a just a YouTube live. It's amazing how that big elliptical sycamore
Yeah.
item got down to. Well, now you just put a big ding in it as well. I heard that. Got it down to 4 inches. And I could hear you mouthing something as well. But no, it was a lot of fun. And now it's not elliptical. And even though it's exponentially smaller, it's a really cute little dish.
It's nice. It's a nice wood.
Yeah. And, the little airbrushed butterfly. So it amazes me with them, imagine, even a very competent airbrush artist.
Yeah.
Trying to do.
But you just
try to do a butterfly
find
that
it
small.
really difficult to get in that small gap.
Yeah, and complete amateurs or like me can't see. You can do really intricate, crisp designs. Love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a very, very nice little dish and
these are crisp designs.
A completely worthwhile project.
Yeah.
And then today I've been thrashing with that platter,
which is there.
It's just on the back, so we're just letting the gilt wax firm up on it. It takes about 24 hours to dry properly. So yeah, I was having a feel around in the workshop this morning while I was tidying the workshop after last night, and I felt it and I thought, wow, I'd felt it before and I didn't really know the proper story about it. I knew it belonged to someone in Nicola's family. I wasn't even sure it was your mum and dad's. For me, it could have been, your grandparents or a great-grand. I had no idea of where it was from, who it was for, or its age. I thought, well, this is feeling a bit sad and sorry for itself. So I decided to, I FaceTimed you from the workshop and you described what it said on the back because the pyro was quite fine on it.
Yeah.
On the back. So you described it via FaceTime.
I don't know if my mum used to put fruit on it and use it as a fruit bowl, but I know it got relegated at some point to my dad's shed, and it sort of, that's where it ended up, and it's been knocking about my dad's shed for ages.
And that's why it ended up in the workshop here.
Yeah,
So,
but yeah, it was.
Shall I go and get it and just hold it carefully?
My mum and dad got married in 1956 and this is 1958. So they'd have been married 2 years at this point. And my grandma brought this back. So this is my dad's mum. Yeah, that's just there. You can just see. So it's got 2 deer and it's got little flowers here and here. Then it's got a tree and there's an owl, I think, in the tree. And then it's got a flower design around the edge.
So hand carved by some artisan in Italy.
Yeah.
What's the place called? The town?
Cadenabbia. And it's it might have an abbey or something, Cadenabbia, but it's near Lake Como in Italy. I think it said it was Lombardy.
All right, okay.
But yeah, it says to Vera and Alan from Mother on the back in Pyro, 1958.
I'm gonna spin it around, so tell me.
Yeah, just. It's not very easy to see it because you can probably just about make it out there. But yeah, I mean, I remember this, from when I was little, and then I think my mum got fed up with it, and I'm glad we kept it anyway, because
It's
it's
beautifully
really nice.
turned. It's
Yeah.
very thin.
And it's very light. I mean,
it's very light, it's very thin. I think after sanding it and getting down to the bare wood on the back, I didn't sand the face with the detail. I sanded the back, and I think it's cedar because I can feel quite an open grain, and the growth rings are quite far apart. I don't think it's pine or anything like that. I definitely think it's cedar, beautifully carved. And you know, those deer, they're very thin in relief, aren't they?
Yeah,
very thin.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of skill gone into that.
Yeah.
And I did send pictures of it to Glenn Lucas, and Glenn said, "Wow," he said, "that's a beauty." But he's got one 300 years old, because Glenn's famous for doing his Irish platters. So he said, "Yeah, thanks for sharing it. It's lovely." But
it is really nice.
So
it looks so much better now. It's had a good polish and clean, and
yeah.
The flowers, I don't know whether they would be. My grandma used to really like Edelweiss, and they're a bit reminiscent of Edelweiss, but I don't know whether they would be in Italy.
It depends what part, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't know where they come from, Edelweiss, but yeah, it looks great with the gilt on.
Well, it's in the film, isn't it?
Yeah. That's in Germany.
No, that's Austria.
Sound of Music.
No, that's Austria, because they crossed the border into Switzerland.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, with the sort of like the face of the platter, what I did was I cleaned it with some spirit and a toothbrush, and then some very fine wire wool. Gave it a really good clean, stripped, you know, the old polish and gunk off it, and then give it a coat of stain, rosewood coloured stain, and then I've just very lightly dry brushed some gold, because Nick said she wanted some gold gilt on it, just to, you know, do a sympathetic cleanup of it, but just to bring it back into the 20th century a bit and just make it pop a little bit with that gilting. So
it really works.
So,
and it's sort of in the middle, it's sort of got a texture going on, a very fine, almost cloth-like texture.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a nice thing.
Yeah, I'm really pleased with that. That just looks lovely now. It can go up on the wall when it's dried out.
Well, we've said when we move, that can go on the wall of your new study.
Yeah.
Because you know, this is a beautiful little piece. You know, really well turned. It has got a slight warp in it now, but you'd expect that. Yeah. You'd expect that, not that way, but if you invert it and do it that way,
right.
You know, it's got a bit of a boo in it, because when I was sanding it, it was wobbling. But yeah, a beautiful little piece. I'm just going to put that on the floor here.
Yeah, there's not really anywhere on that shelf. So, shall we see who else is here? We've got Andy Pugh. We've got
Andy.
Steve Twidell.
Hi, Steve.
Leona says she likes the idea of a story carved into a platter. There's a jewellery company here called History of Ireland. Their designs would actually look cool on a platter. Yeah, that sounds good.
Well, there you go, Leona. Give it a try and send us the photos.
David McLernan.
Hi, Dave.
Nick.
Hi, Nick.
Have I said Andy Pugh?
You did.
Wayne the Woodturner, we've said.
Yeah.
Christina Michael Hesseltine.
Hi, guys.
Wayne Bigfoot.
Hi, Bigfoot.
Steve Ellis.
Hi, Steve.
There's somebody else popped up. Who have I missed? Have I missed anybody? I think I saw somebody else's name. Anyway, can't see it now. So anyway, good evening, everybody. Leona says, "Oh dear, me and my big gob."
No. It's not a challenge. It's, you know, even if it took you 5 years to get around to it, because I know you're busy and you're practicing hard, Leona, and doing, you know, lots of wood turning and also, you know, just trying to live a normal life. No, it's not a challenge. It just be interesting. And if you do it 5 years from now, remember to send us the photographs. And it's not a challenge, no pressure. If and when you ever get round to doing it, that'd be cool. No, it wasn't a challenge.
Wayne Bigfoot says northern Italy is a totally different climate to southern Italy, and still quite mountainous, so they may grow there. That'll be interesting because my grandma used to. I've got a little picture with an Edelweiss in it that was my grandma's. Steve said that's a beautiful piece. So yeah, I just think it's interesting.
And she travelled a lot, didn't she?
She liked going to Italy.
Mm.
Well, she lived on her own really from when my dad was in his teens. And she used to enjoy traveling with her friends. So I know she went to Italy quite a lot. I'm not sure whether she went to places like Austria. She went to Europe quite a bit anyway, but Italy was Lake Como was a favourite around there. But yeah, it's just interesting having these things now because I haven't really got that much of my grandma's, and yeah, it's just
a lovely. I mean, obviously for me, stuff. It's a very tactile piece, and I can feel the outline of the deers and the flowers. Very delicate, but you know, definite texture and shape and design there for me to feel. But yeah, it's. I mean, in a way, your dad was a maker, wasn't he? Because I mean, he loved tinkering, but
tinkering about.
Your dad studied electrical engineering at uni, didn't he? And then he was an electrical consultant for British Nuclear Fuels. So he designed and consulted on electrical systems in power systems. So your dad was very, very clever. And, you know, we've had here his old drawing boards and, you know, the amount of sort of like soldering irons and soldering transistors and resistors that we've found and sifted through in the workshop. So your dad was a maker in a way, and he could turn his hand to anything, your dad, couldn't he?
He did do a lot of stuff, all sorts of different things.
Yeah, so.
Blue Light Turner says, Wayne's just after collecting his P45s, has his Yorkshire Grit one, now added a hand model P45 to the collection.
What's that for?
I don't know. I think he's getting the sack.
Who, Wayne the Woodturner?
No, I don't know what he means.
Because Wayne
I think
Clasper.
it's joking.
Oh, right, okay. Because Wayne Clasper works with Glyn, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm assuming it's
Wayne. Wasn't there something the other day?
Well, Nick said, "Oh, is that any good?"
Is it Nick?
Yeah, is it good, that Yorkshire Grit? So I said as a joke, not bad. And then Glyn piped up, sacked.
Oh, right, okay.
So I don't know.
So you've got your P45 as well then?
Don't give a shit. So what was I going to say? Yeah, so I just assumed, and you shouldn't assume because it makes an ass out of you and me. Good one to remember, folks. Assume makes an ass out of you and me. So yeah, I just thought it was Wayne Clasper because he works with Glyn.
Yeah,
when you said Wayne. Who knows? Anyway, let us know what's going on there, folks. I'm confused.com now. Before you know it, I'm going to start singing TV commercials again.
Oh no!
So
please.
if you want me to not sing TV commercials from the 80s and 70s, let us into that little discussion that's going on about the P45.
Wayne the Woodturner says, Chris, Glyn's always sacking me. Now I've got the T-shirt.
Oh, right.
Been there, done that, got the T-shirt.
Oh, right, okay. Well, sack him back, Wayne. That's funny. So, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So
what have you been up to?
I've been writing a lot.
Nice.
Working on my projects, looking at my project plan. Got quite a lot to do this month. I've got a podcast interview tomorrow that I need to do some more research for.
And who is that?
Mark Matusek.
He's the famous writer from New York.
He's a famous writer from New York, yeah. So I have got some of that done, but I want to do some more for tomorrow. But I'm not interviewing him till tomorrow night because it's 2 p.m. in New York at 7 o'clock.
Yeah,
so
5 hours behind.
Yeah, I'll be doing that at 7 p.m. I did a podcast interview last week. Yeah. Got an article to write. So.
And what publication is that for?
Kindred Voice.
Ah. Talking of articles, you might have seen my post earlier on today that I'd received my copy of Revolutions, the magazine of the AWGB. And yes, I'm a member, so I do get it. But KMC said, oh, did they not do a talking version yet? So, no, they don't do a dedicated talking magazine. But what they do is they send me the script via an email. Excuse me. Or a PDF or whatever it is.
PDF.
And then I have the ability then to listen to it through a screen reading program. But yeah, I just thought this would be funny because it's true. If I was sighted, that would definitely be a toilet magazine. No questions asked. You could just disappear in there because it's not thick.
I did offer to read it to you.
Well, you were reading bits out.
Yeah, I know.
What, on the toilet?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you'd have sat on the bottom step of the stairs and you could have read to me.
Yeah,
well,
this is
tomorrow.
our life.
Yeah, welcome to our life. Yeah, well, maybe tomorrow you can start. But it's a good point. But it's sent to me because obviously I'm a member. But I do get sent the PDF of that edition.
Leona says she enjoyed that sing-song last week.
Yeah, it was good.
Scott says it's a Mick take. We keep joking about Wayne being sacked by Glyn for using colour. Then today he had a slip off his skew and injured his beautiful modelling hands.
Who, Wayne?
I hope it wasn't serious.
So Wayne's caught himself.
Yeah.
Oops.
Flaming Turner, yes, it's just a joke. Glyn keeps sacking Wayne, and now I've got one sacking. I'm trying to hide so I don't get any more.
All right.
Steve says, for hands that do dishes and feel soft on your face.
With mild green fairy liquid.
Yeah, but there's a joke. Mild green hairy lip squid.
That was a joke. Yeah, mild green hairy lip squid.
Yeah, Scott says, go compare, go compare.
Too modern, that, Scott. 70s or 80s. What will it be for tea tonight? Remember that one with the chips?
Will it be something or other?
Will it be mushrooms, fried onion rings? You'll have to wait and see. We hope it's chips, it's chips. All them builders in the back of that tranny van. Remember that? Of course you do. Anyway.
Chris wasn't born. Oh, Chris, I wasn't born till 1983.
Oh, you young pup. Is that Scott?
Smash potato.
For mash get smash. Yeah,
that was good.
With the alien robots.
Yeah. Stace says, I feel like chicken tonight. Chicken tonight. Oh dear, it's just
and we're off.
Degenerating. Right then.
What? Tell people if they haven't seen about the amazing notebook that Jimmy DeResta's made.
Oh yeah, I was just sitting here yesterday and
must have been exciting because I got the call, Chris.
And one of Jimmy's lives popped up, so I clicked on it and started watching it. And he was talking about these notebooks that he'd made. So, of course, my ears pricked up and I thought, oh, yes, that sounds good. And he's handmade them. I think they're leather and they're embossed, and it's got like a DeResta logo or something on the front. And then it's got, the inside leaves, and then it's got the pages, and they look really nice. And I was thinking, oh, I wonder how much these will be. Anybody want to have a guess? Did anybody see that?
Well, let them have a guess.
Yeah, have a guess. How much you think
carry on
a Jimmy DeResta notebook would be, handmade?
And no cheating by jumping on his videos. Just have a guess. A Jimmy DeResta handmade notebook.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. If I had the money, I'd have one. But
yeah, well, I would.
I ain't got the money.
They are fab. Would love one, but way too dear for me, says Leona. Yeah.
All right. So Leona.
Stace Mates, 100. Wayne the Woodturner, $250. Any advance? Any other suggestions? There isn't a price for this, but you know, we'll just
No. Just give me a minute. We're going to give you another.
we need.
I
was thinking that.
Tell them, Nicola.
$500 each.
So what size was it?
I
A5?
think it looks like an A5, yeah.
Yeah.
So it'd be
Nicola might just happen to own a notebook.
oh, which one shall I choose?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Here we go. So it'll be, I think it'd be about that size, which is A5, but it was a lot thicker. And obviously it's completely custom made.
How many has he made? 4 or 5?
He's made 4. So yeah, they're $500 each.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah, I can't blame him either. Wayne Bigfoot.
Well, we said that.
And he said it'd taken him like a whole week to make them. So
well, I said this. Now, obviously, he's very, very much loved Jimmy, and he's an amazing guy, and you know that it will be a beautifully made thing, and he's got the name and the clout and the brand to merit that price.
Yeah.
I mean, there are thousands of people all over the world that would love to own something handmade by it. I would.
Yeah.
If I was rolling in cash, I'd have bought one for you. No questions asked. Because that's a rare thing from someone who we admire and respect. It's a no-brainer.
Oh, yeah. Wayne the Woodturner says they'll all be sold now. They will.
Yeah.
There'll be people who would have just absolutely jumped on that.
Yeah, definitely.
But what was interesting for me was he started showing the inside of one of the notebooks that he's actually written in and sort of ideas and what he jots. So in notebook circles, that's quite a big thing for somebody to give you a tour of their notebook. It happens a lot. A lot of the YouTube videos I watch are people showing you what they've got in their notebook. It's just a thing, and it's what people do. So yeah, it was interesting for him to kind of show what he's got in his notebook and his designs and his ideas. So he said instead of writing down things that he wants to do, he'll draw a picture, because then he can just flick through it and quickly see the picture. And I can understand that, because sometimes I think, right, I need to look in this notebook because I know I've got something, but I've got old text in here, and trying to find the right bits is really difficult. So I have these tabs that I put in for a few things that I know I want to look at again. But yeah, I thought that was a really good idea to draw pictures. So yeah, that was interesting.
Well, I remember, didn't Jamie Oliver, when he was doing that series from his home, when he moved to sort of like the big farmhouse in the country, and he had the kitchen garden, he had that garden.
Yeah.
He had a notebook, didn't he? And he used to doodle.
Oh yeah, I loved that.
Yeah,
that was.
I could hear in your voice then. I used to love that. Did you hear it, folks? How much your voice changed.
It was just incredible, though. Anything like that.
Little drawings of vegetables and flowers and a bit of writing.
It was just amazing.
So you should have been doing that with your gardening stuff.
Yeah. I know, I don't think of these things. Yeah, I should do. When we move, I can do stuff. Jimmy uses notebooks constantly. They are a valuable asset to him in his work.
Artificial intelligence.
Likewise.
Who said that?
Wayne Bigfoot.
Yeah. It's when you have a lot going on in your head, you write something down or draw a picture and it's there, and you don't have to remember it. You can declutter then, because it's down in your book. That's like, it's the earliest form of data storage, isn't it? Writing or drawing.
Well, I love my notebooks. Leona says he showed his notebook on the Make Your Own Way podcast interview he did a while back.
All right.
Well. I'll have to have a look at that. I've not seen that one. That'd be really cool. Thanks, Leona. Dr. D says passion.
Yeah.
Steve says, warning, warning, Jamie Oliver crush.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you hear it in her voice?
It's not so much Jamie Oliver. I'm not.
I wouldn't kick him out of bed.
Would you not?
Yeah.
It's not so much Jamie Oliver. I don't mind his stuff. I've watched lots of his programs. It was The Notebook.
Yeah. Well, I'm a Jamie
not bothered
fan.
about Jamie
And,
Oliver.
you think back, and I know his business has come under some hard times, and he's had to close all his restaurants and things. But when I think back to the it was be in front of that telly for when The Naked Chef came on in the 90s, and it was a great program, and it was simple to follow food and recipes, and it was had nice bits of music in it, and then they'd sort of like do the outside broadcast, and he'd take his nieces and stuff for a trip out, and he'd do all the cooking, and it was really good. And yeah, I do like Jamie, and
I used to live off Jamie Oliver food. I used to put like my fish or my chicken mostly in a foil parcel with my veggies, put it in the oven, and that was it.
Yeah. Bada bing, bada boom. No, I like Jamie. He's done some great shows. I love these, the so-called celebrity chefs like Rick Stein when he does his Seafood Odyssey, and then he'll do, the French Odyssey, where he's going down the Canal du Midi.
We used to watch those, didn't we? We've not really watched any for ages. I don't even know what's on anymore.
No. Well, we do know what's on. The Walking Dead.
Yeah, that's on Netflix, though. I mean, I don't even know what's on terrestrial television.
No, I don't.
Well, there's Killing Eve, but I'm a bit behind on that. But that's not. I don't know. It's all right, but it's not kind of. I don't think it's as good as the first two series that we saw. Well, you've not seen any of.
Well, the first episode, I wasn't feeling it.
No,
that's the first two seasons. Yeah, I thought it was brilliant, and this.
Steve Twidell says, "What I love about Jamie is his wife."
Oh right.
And Leona says, girl, yeah. Leona says, "Did you know Steve Twidell is a celebrity chef?" Well, I always thought he was a celebrity baker.
Well, here's a bit of interest, a bit of name dropping. I suppose it is our Uncle Alan now, because you're part of the family. His eldest daughter, Megan, she's a teacher now, and she teaches design technology, but she originally trained as a chef and did it at a very advanced level and went to university to become a chef. And she did a lot of her training with Hugh Fernley Whittingstall of River Cottage. So, Megan did a fair bit of a training with him. What is it called? A residence, probably.
Yeah,
she
residency.
She had a residency with Hugh Fernley Whittingstall. But she's retrained now, and she did a master's in teaching or whatever. So so not only is she doing baking and cooking and everything now, she's having to build doodads in a woodwork shop. And
she's teaching remotely at the minute, isn't she?
Yeah.
She was telling us she was doing that. Wayne Bigfoot says Jamie proves you don't have to rant and swear at folk to make a good cookery program like some.
I don't believe that.
Well, do you know what?
But we love Ramsay as well.
We do, yeah. And I like Marco. He did Hell's Kitchen, I think. Was it Hell's Kitchen?
He's done that as well, yeah.
And I don't think he actually swears, does he? He doesn't swear.
No, not really.
I don't think Marco swears, but he has this icy, cold demeanor.
Marco's
so scary.
He's like sort of like the mafia crime boss of cookery, isn't he?
I mean, you really wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of him, but he's one of the people who's on like
Bamba is just
destroying the world here. What are you doing? Everything's falling over. Where was I?
Marco Pierre.
Oh yeah. I'd really love to photograph Marco. he's somebody that
I
I
used to wear fedoras, didn't he, and big coats and all
Yeah,
that sort
yeah,
of stuff.
yeah.
And, you know, big cigar.
He's got that I really don't care kind of attitude, and
Well, he really doesn't care.
no, but yeah, I quite like Marco. Gordon's good though. We've watched a lot of Gordon, haven't we?
Yeah, and you know, you either love him or hate him, but I just love the way he goes off on full tilt on people. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
And he is who he is, and you won't change him, and he wouldn't change for anybody.
No.
It's not done him any harm.
No.
You know, got him in hot water a couple of times.
Dr. D says, is there anything Steve can't do? I don't think so. Is that the chef who burns everything? No. Valerie used to be a dinner lady. Is that the same?
It's exactly the same. Everyone remembers the dinner ladies from school.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Everybody in.
There used to be 2 at my school when I was at junior school, or primary? I never know. There was one called Mrs. Towns, and she was really strict. And she used to try and make you eat all your food, and I hated prunes and custard. And I remember trying to make me eat these prunes, and I threw up. Yeah, she was a bit of a stickler for things. And then we had another one called Mrs. Fur, and she used to wear this coat. I don't think it was fur, but it was that kind of material. And we used to stand in the playground going, "We like your coat." She was lovely. She was like your cuddly grandma, and she was just always really nice to us.
Yeah, you'd always have, you know, a couple of nice dinner ladies and a couple that were right witches. Yeah, and they thought, they had delusions of grandeur.
Yeah. Leona says she likes Gino. David McClernand, never forget the day Gino was on This Morning TV and was cooking toad in the hole, but his version was called sausage in the hole.
Yeah.
Hi, Debbie.
Hi, Debbie. I bet you regret saying that, Gino.
Welcome to the Madhouse tonight.
Yes. Yes.
So.
Yeah, we've dined in Gino's restaurant in Harrogate,
haven't we? Never again.
Oh, you want to go public with that?
Yeah.
Go on, tell people.
Well, did we eat there twice?
Yeah.
Did we go twice?
Oh. Overrated, let's say.
Well, yeah. I mean, the food wasn't really that great. I think
it was average.
Did I have a pizza the first night?
Yeah, and then your tummy was off.
And I didn't eat most of it because it was soggy. And it just wasn't great. I think the dessert was probably the best bit. And the starter was quite nice, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's not like the
but you couldn't do much wrong with that.
No, it was bruschetta, sun-dried tomatoes, pecorino.
That was really nice.
Oh yeah, we fell in love with pecorino there, didn't we?
But the actual food really wasn't anything to write home about.
No, it was average, and then on the second time we went, food was coming that was cold and things like that. So I remember you describing the layout and everything, and it's all sort of like celebrity photos everywhere, isn't it? And
I mean, it's Gino with every celebrity going, and I guess it's not really my kind of place. I'd rather go somewhere that's got more character rather than
a Bernie Inn.
No.
Now, everybody, do you remember the Bernie Inns? And can you remember the name of your Bernie Inn that you used to frequent back in the day? I can, surprisingly enough. It was called The Hole in the Wall, and it was in the city centre of Manchester. So whenever it was someone's birthday in the family, either me, my brother, mum or dad, we go to the Hole in the Wall just off Tibbs Street in Manchester. And you went through the doors and went down a spiral staircase, and the restaurant was underground. And you know what? I used to love it in there because it had all these pictures on the wall of old coach house scenes and woodcut images and things like that. So I used to feel really, really happy in a Bernie Inn, and you'd have a shandy, so you felt like you could conquer the world. Yeah, happy days. Yeah, Bernie Inn. He was an Italian guy that owned Bernie Inn.
Was it?
Bernie.
Debbie says she was a dinner lady.
Oh,
Wayne Bigfoot says about 10 years after he left school, our son told us all the kids used to fancy dinner lady Valerie. Our dinner lady got fired at the same time as the caretaker.
Scandal.
Yeah, you guessed exactly why they were fired. Mark the Gentleman Woodturner, evening everyone, first time here.
Hi, Mark.
Hiya.
We're just discussing TV commercials, the Bernie in. We're throwing maker stuff in.
Yeah.
But this is, we're talking really about.
It's just to warn you, Mark, it's a bit random at home with the Fishers.
Yeah, we'll talk about what we have been doing at home with the Fishers.
Yeah.
And obviously, there's Nicola's creativity and projects and my
and notebooks.
Wood tinkering. But yeah, we've segued into TV commercials and dinner ladies tonight, which is quite funny.
And Gordon Ramsay
and Jamie Oliver.
Yeah.
But we have touched on Jimmy DeResta's $500 notebook.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, Steve. Yeah, well, I was just trying to be discreet.
What?
He said, "Oh, body form for you." Sorry, been holding that in, had to let it
go. Yeah, brilliant.
Carlsberg commercials were always my favourite, says Mark, the Gentleman Woodturner.
Orangey boom, it's a lager, not a tune, orangey boom.
Scott says you and Chris should talk off here about your stories. You're both inspiring. That's you and Mark.
All right, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Nicola's, she's got a lot of good stories, haven't you?
Have I?
Well, I think you've had a very fascinating, interesting life. Yeah. Went to public school, studied at the Sorbonne. This is for the new people that are here tonight. Yeah. Yeah. Private education, studied at the Sorbonne after uni. Epic. Yeah. But we'll go over that again.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We'll gloss over that.
We won't gloss over it. I think it's fascinating. Living and working in Paris, studying in Paris, au pairing for a count and countess. I mean, there's a film in that.
No, there's not.
Yeah. Yeah. Being called a prostitute when you sat out reading.
No, you can't just leave that there.
Well, tell the story then.
Right then. So
interesting, this folks will like this.
When I lived in Paris, I used to take my book and go and sit on these little seats that some of the bridges have over the Seine. And they're just like little kind of alcoves that you can sit in. So one day I was sat there and I was due to be meeting somebody, but I was a bit early. So I thought, right, I'll have half an hour with my book and then I'll go and meet my friend. And this guy came and sat next to me. And that wasn't unusual. It's just how it is how it used to be in Paris. I don't know what it's like now.
Frenchmen were like.
Yeah, they just that's what they did.
They saw a woman they liked and they went for it.
Yeah. So I was just sitting there reading. And then this guy must have started talking to me. I don't know what he said, but I do remember he said, "Would you like to spend the afternoon with me?" And I said, it took me a while to cotton on. I was a bit sort of naive at that point. And I said, "Oh, I'm meeting a friend in half an hour." And then he said, "Well, I'll give you 1,000 francs if you spend the afternoon with me." This is all in French, by the way. So I said, "I'm not a prostitute," and got up and sort of huffed off.
So what's the vernacular term for a prostitute?
In poot.
Yeah, or putain, is it?
Yeah. Well, I think I would have said poot, but yeah. So then I went and met my friends and told them, and they didn't believe me for a long time because every time I met them, I'd say, "Oh, this French guy's just come up and asked me for a coffee or a drink or to go to here with them." And I think they just thought I was making it up. And then one day, we were meeting just near a metro station, and two of the guys nipped into a cafe to use the loo, came back out, and some guy was chatting me up, and I said, "Now do you believe me?" But yeah, I think it was just they had this thing for English girls, and
you could tell you were English just by looking at you, couldn't they?
You couldn't get away with it. They knew straight off that you were English, and but yeah, it was just really funny.
And the other story I like was when you were working and those people from France came over for the meeting.
Oh yeah,
tell that story.
Oh yeah, that was funny. So this was when I was in the UK, and I think it was when I was working at Capgemini. And I can't remember what the project was, but we had some French guys, 3 French guys came over. And because I spoke French, I was involved in the meetings and I was doing a bit of translation and stuff like that. And there was one point where I was left in the room with these 3 guys. I don't know, everyone else disappeared somewhere for something. And so
can I just add, they had no idea that you'd studied to the level you had?
No. Because I hadn't really had to say that much because, it was only bits and pieces. So at that point, they really didn't know anything. So they're sat there gibbering away in French. And they were joking with one guy about his impuissance, which is his impotence. I think it was just a joke, but that was what they were talking about. So I didn't say anything, just sat there. And then when we were saying goodbye, I said to this guy in French, I hope you can get your impotence sorted out. And they just fell about laughing because they couldn't believe that I'd understood what they said. It was
how
so
would you
funny.
say that in French?
I can't remember what I said now. Something like j'espère que votre impuissance va s'améliorer or something like that.
Yeah, but they knew straight away that you weren't mucking about with your French, didn't they?
No, it was funny.
I mean, their jaws must have gone.
It did. It was like, no, the English guys didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
But the French guys were like,
oh my God, she's understood every word. I mean, they're using, because there's lots of regional colloquialisms, and you're there and you tagged what they were saying and they've thought, mad, haven't they?
Yeah, it was just funny. It was one of those moments that doesn't come along very often.
Yeah.
But when it does,
I bet they didn't know what to say.
It was a classic. Yeah. You don't get them very often. You got to make the most of it.
Yeah, that's it.
So
carpe diem.
Yeah, carpe diem.
Seize the fish.
So let's see what we've got here. Mark says, Chris, we can compare stories. Leona says, I've no stories, had a very boring youth. Happiness is a cigar called
Hamlet.
Steve says, finger of fudge is just enough to give your kids a treat. They're full of Cadbury goodness, very good to eat.
A finger of fudge is just enough to give
Wayne
kids
Bigfoot
a treat.
says, does that mean there's plenty of stories about you as an adult, Leona? Wayne the Wood Turner, they all involve drink. If you like a lot of chocolate on your biscuit, join our club. Real simple things. Hi
Baz. Welcome to Fisher's Mad Hour, Happy Hour. It's Friday, it's 5 to 5 and it's
not crackerjack. Steve says he's got to warm his voice up for this one. So, anybody going to tell us anything? What's going on in your world?
Yes.
What shall we talk about? So, what shall we talk about, Christopher?
Got FedEx turning up tomorrow to collect my box of items that are off to Detroit.
Yeah.
So Nicola took them to our local post office and they went, oh, that's too big to post from here. You're going to have to...
Too heavy.
Oh, too heavy, sorry. So you're going to have to travel to here and there. And Nicola thought, screw that. I'm not driving around everywhere. So she came home. She said, let's FedEx it.
Yeah.
So...
I think it'd be as broad as it's long.
So they collect that tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then it
should be there this week.
Well, FedEx, they've got all their own aircraft and everything. So, and, jet travel is still minimalist. Passenger travel is still minimalist. So, transport aircraft are being, vectored pretty much straight through where they want to go. Getting cleared to altitudes and speeds pretty much as they need. So, yeah, it should be there very quickly.
They're picking it up tomorrow, so...
Have you got a time, or...?
I don't think so.
Just not gone for it.
I think, it just said tomorrow, I think. Let me have a look.
So the items that are going are my bullet-shaped ornament that's been airbrushed. That's called Shooting Stars. I have got the Corinthian column candle holder that I've called Corinth.
Yeah.
I've got the laminated beech and elm bowl, which I've called It's a Stick Up. I've got the lidded candy apple textured dish that I've called Candy Apple.
Yeah.
I have got the verdigris and textured bowl, which I've called Hammered. And then because he's a bit of a gearhead, Dave, that owns the shop, and he's got a rat rod, I think. It's an old classic American pickup by the sounds of things. He's called it the War Boy. So I did a candlestick that's sort of like a suspension strut. So I've called that Strut.
You said Shooting Stars.
Shooting Stars.
The Milky Bar Kid is strong and tough. Only the best is good enough, says Wayne Bigfoot. If anybody listens back to this, I think we're nuts.
The creamiest milk.
The whitest bar. Nestle's Milky Bar. Yeah. Mark the Gentleman Woodturner has got tools and wood arriving this week. He's going to make some boxes and finials.
Oh, cool.
That sounds good. Wayne Bigfoot says going to be a tad busy then, Mark. And I finally bought a decent webcam for filming on, says Mark. Oh, right. What webcam have you got, Mark? Debbie says we're in for a great treat, Mark. Yeah.
Cool.
Love your last goblet with the lid, Chris. Brilliant, says Wayne Bigfoot.
Oh, yeah, that's it's downstairs. Shall we get that?
You can do.
I'll go and get that.
Okay.
Regale our guests with stories of old. I'll go and get it.
Stace says, I'm going to try making a mushroom this week. I have an idea, but needs to make quite a few. Oh, right. That sounds interesting. So what shall we talk about? Chris, what shall we talk about? We're not doing very much. It's really difficult. Steve's put a comment. Let me read that. Way down deep in the middle of the Congo, a hippo took an apricot, a guava and a mango. He stuck it with the others and he danced a dainty tango. The rhino said, I know, we'll call it Umbongo. Wayne Bigfoot said, yes, get it. It really is lovely.
I've got it.
Derek Cam 1080p with a noise cancelling microphone. Oh, right, cool. I'll have a look at that because we're just sorting out some kit for Chris.
So, am I in frame there?
Yeah.
So, it's cedar. The main body is cedar. The foot is cedar. Let me just... Have they seen that?
Yeah.
So it's really a mixture of oak and cedar.
So you can see the gold gilting.
So the lid and the main body has got percussive texturing.
The light's not brilliant in here, but you can see the texture in there. And there as well. So that's a bit better.
And then the goblet inside was hollowed out using the Simon Hope hollowing So yeah, a good blend of spindle work and hollowing out and texturing and colouring, and so yeah, it was lovely. It's a good, really good project to do, and I'd never actually held anything like that, and obviously had never seen anything like that. So I was listening to Cindy Drozda's finial videos, well, the ones that I could find. So I was gaining inspiration from that. So yeah, it's as my head perceives what I've heard, but it does feel really nice, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. So yeah, I call it the finial goblet. I don't know if you call it a lidded goblet, but it is what it is. And I didn't do a friction fit on the lid. And it's a very, very thin rim, which is what I was going for. So it's just, yeah, it's a lovely decorative piece. Yeah, a lot of fun.
Wayne Bigfoot says, Stacey, your workshop is tiny. There's not much room in there.
Oh, you're such a fun guy.
Mark says, Amazon recommended one. All right, cool. Mark says, that's lovely, Chris. That's nice, Chris, says Debbie. Wayne Bigfoot says, I absolutely adore it. I will ask Valerie to make me one. Really nice piece, Chris, says Steve. Will the blue ink stain stand out?
No, because it's a pen pot.
What pen pot?
Will the blue ink stand out?
Yeah.
What blue ink?
He says, only joking.
All right.
I should have pictures of that granite sprayed bowl up tomorrow, says Nick. Wayne the wood turner, my next percussive texturing is going to be done with a 1.5 pound ball peen hammer. Mark the gentleman wood turner, a loblet.
A lidded goblet.
Yeah.
A loblet.
A loblet. Yeah.
Or a gobbed. Gobbed. I'll tell you what was interesting. Nick Agar was turning stone the other day. Soapstone on his lathe.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, sounded interesting. So, yeah. Reminds me of my days turning Thermalite breeze blocks.
Yeah.
That was good.
That's going back a bit.
That was fun. I must revisit turning Thermalite. Yeah, that was a dusty experience.
It was.
Definitely need your respirators on for that.
Yeah.
And your dust extraction. But yeah, again, it was just an idea that popped in my head. And a lot of the time, an idea will pop in my head and I'll think, yeah, I think I'll give that a go. You know, proof of concept. And actually, one of the pieces that I made out of Thermalite, Steve, remember Steve the cleaner?
Yeah.
He had that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. So, yeah, I think, it's like I was discussing last night. It's important that, you spend time doing both spindle work and bowls and hollowing out. Just keep, all your muscle memory fresh and your skills fresh, and mix it up. It doesn't matter. Doing small stuff, it's a great skill builder, and it's a great test of your tool control doing small stuff like that finial. Like I say, I was listening to Cindy Drozda and trying to position my hands and making sure you're getting good bevel contact, and down one side and then down the other, and trying to get, bearing in mind the little onion shape that she has on the finial and then the pointy top. And so yeah, there's a lot, but it's very, very rewarding to get something like that done. Obviously, I couldn't do, I think Cindy can get a finial, a human hair thick, but
Mark said, how many stitches? Wayne said 4 steri strips done at home. Stace says, could you turn pumice stones?
Possibly, yeah. It will blunt your tools very quick. But Nick Agar has been. It was just a post on Instagram, and I'm not suggesting you try it. Obviously, Nick, is one of the world's great turners. But yeah, he was turning soapstone, which I know, it can be quite, pliable. But I wouldn't recommend turning anything. If you want to try turning pumice stone in your own workshop, just make sure you've got your face shield on and you know the rest.
Mark says she's the queen of finials for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, she does a signature urchin things.
Steve says, I was a couple of months away from the lathe, so I decided to do a simple, safe turn for my first one. A 10-inch by 4-inch off-centre wall piece. Was fun chasing the lathe around it.
Oh, right. Is that the one you've been posting with the carving? Because I remember the line, something about the wabbit.
Yeah, this is like Looney Tunes, I think.
Right. Is that the one?
I think it is.
Yeah. Because I liked, when that popped up, I did give it a like, Steve. Yeah, I thought, what's he up to now? Yeah, obviously I thought of Looney Tunes cartoons, a wabbit.
What's the soapstone?
Well, it is a form of stone, and I think it is easy to carve. They used to carve chess pieces out of it, and I think there's a reference to it in the Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, soapstone. Yeah. It's just a stone, but it's called soapstone. But it's probably softer, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know if it was used for cleaning something, like the old donkey stones that they had for doing the steps back in the day. I don't know if it's similar to that.
Andy Pugh says a soft rock, a bit like marble, but softer.
Right, okay.
Steve says, yes, that's the one. I see the like Spanx, Chris.
I see the like Spanx.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
Well, do you like lots of stuff?
Oh, yeah. When it pops up, when I'm in between, when I'm in the workshop, if I'm just sitting down to have a swig of tea and things like that, I'll just spend a minute and I'll try and like some posts that have come up. So yeah, I try to do that a few times a day, like stuff. And obviously, I'm turning and I can hear my phone going, you have 1 notification, you have 2 notifications, you have 3 notifications. I think, I'll check them in a bit.
Well, what's the most you've had? You've had some mornings when we've got up and it says something like you've got 62 notifications.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I saw Andy Dufresne. You just read that in Morgan Freeman's voice, didn't you?
Who's done that?
Mark the Gentleman Wood Turner.
That's a brilliant film.
It is a good film. There's bits of it I don't like watching now, though. When that old guy hangs himself, and there's a few bits that kind of,
and the rape scenes.
I don't want to watch those. Yeah. Well, it's like The Sound of Music, and
why is the rape scenes in that? Flipping heck, have you been watching the director's cut?
No.
All right, okay.
There's bits in that I can't watch anymore.
All right.
I can't watch The Railway Children anymore.
Well, it's because at the end when she goes, "Daddy," yeah, know that.
Can't watch.
Well, that. I still well up like a bloody blubbering 4-year-old when E.T. gets on the ship at the end to go home. Flipping out, that cuts me up deep. That film does. Oh, I love that film. It makes me so sad when he goes. But I feel a connection, you see. Yeah. Yeah.
The Spanx was me saying thanks.
All right.
Google says it's a talc schist, a type of metamorphic rock, mostly magnesium-rich mineral talc.
All right.
The owner says, lol, Chris. Which bit?
Right. Well, that's our hour.
I know. I can't believe how fast it's gone.
Well, we've had a lot of fun.
Next week, we should do a Name That Movie from Famous Quotes.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, you'll be good at that. Well, we watch The Big Bang, don't we?
Yeah.
I don't know how many times we've watched these.
Well, we've listened to every episode all the way through, from start to finish, about 8 times now.
Yeah. So we kind of know a lot of the script, don't we?
Yeah, we sit there quoted it like I used to do with the young ones and stuff like that. Oh, that's just my cousin Sally, and she's got a little maker business, Sally Mally, and Co.
Yeah.
And a few weeks ago, I managed to super glue the zip together on my turning smock. Anyway, she's just said the zip's done. Okay.
We'll arrange to go and get that.
Yeah.
So, Mark says that was fun. I'm hope to see you next time. Well, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, and we generally talk about. Well, it's becoming quite a regular thing. We talk about what we've been up to and what we're doing.
Yeah,
and then we're off. Then
it just morphs. I mean,
it's this trajectory of madness.
I'm finding it harder than it used to be because we're doing so little out of the ordinary, aren't we? It's not like we're not doing demos. We're not traveling anywhere. It's just a bit like Groundhog Day. So sometimes,
well, it is a lot of fun though. We are having a bit of a giggle, and we're hanging out with friends, and we can have a laugh. And,
Steve says, I must send my poem to you, Nicola, inspired by the Big Bang. Oh yeah, definitely. We love the Big Bang.
Yeah.
Nathan says, hi Chris and Nicola, sorry I'm very late.
Nathan,
how are you?
That's 2 nights on the trot, man.
I was gonna say,
Nathan, you missed us last night, and you sincerely didn't have to apologize for missing it. And I said, don't worry, we've all got lives, and the beauty of it, Nathan, is
you can watch it back.
Yes, you can. When you've got 10 minutes free, an hour.
Baz has just said, missed it, damn, hi and bye then.
Yeah, hi, bye. So
see you then, thanks for watching.
Yeah, well, we're going now, but rewind this.
Yeah.
Well, there's another conversation. What was your first video recorder back in the day? Hey, was it a top loader or a front loader? Ferguson Video Star. Boom.
I think ours was a front loader.
Was it?
I think so.
Oh, posh.
I can't remember.
I think that's a crank I was in, like a mangle.
Right then. Everybody, have a good week. And you never know when we'll catch you on your lives. Chris likes to sneak in and watch some.
Moi?
Yes, you. Otherwise, we'll be back on Sunday with the Blind Wood Turner.
That's right. Yeah. I need to be doing some power carving. I'm not doing any power carving for a while.
Yeah. So, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Hope you've had fun. There's quite a few joining now, and we're just finishing, but it'll go once we've ended the broadcast. It will go live again. Well, not live, but it'll be uploaded.
Yeah. So
you can watch it.
Yeah, people that are just joining now, if it is your first time, we like to keep it to an hour.
Yeah. So we're pretty much done at 8:30.
Yeah.
But
But we've had a big giggle tonight, and we've talked about lots of different things.
Yeah.
The French way of doing things, haw.
Yeah.
And we've had some good stories tonight. Spoke about some wood turning and creativity in notebooks, and Nicola's time studying and living in Paris. So rewind it and listen to it. It's been a good one tonight. We've had a lot of fun. Worth a listen.
Lovely. Well, thank you for watching.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good week. Look after yourselves.
Bye.
Bye.